So just over 2 weeks ago, I did a video on Tyson Fury and how his mind and his personality and his character is his greatest strength, but also his biggest weakness. And now we've had this IFL TV interview with Anthony Joshua and Kugan Cassius, which I'm sure most of you have probably seen by now. It's a very good interview, very insightful interview with a lot to take from. And of course, Hatman and Chris Andre have done very good, comprehensive videos. And this is just an opportunity for me to give my 2 cents and my psychological assessment of Anthony Joshua. Now, Anthony Joshua is someone who you guys know I rate very highly. I'm not someone who tries to detract from Anthony Joshua. I've done studies on him. I rate him as a technical boxer. I believe he has a very good boxing mind, even though he's been rushed in his career. But the mind of Anthony Joshua, in relative terms to other elite heavyweights, is something that concerns me. And in particular, it is, I believe, Anthony Joshua's personality is a reflection of his boxing style. And now, for the past couple of years, Anthony Joshua, I think many people will agree, he has been caught in between styles. And part of it is because he's developing as a fighter and he's learning as he goes along, which you'd expect a fighter to do as they progress in their career, and they're a professional fighter for years and years. But it's also a response to the criticism that Anthony Joshua has received. You know, he's too stiff, he's too robotic, he's too muscular, he can't move for 12 rounds, blah 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 blah, he gasses out. And these, of course, are very valid criticisms. But what this does is Anthony Joshua hears this, and bear in mind, this is just my interpretation as an outsider looking in. Anthony Joshua sees this and he realizes that he has to be better. He realizes that he has to address these shortcomings, and he adds these things to his game. But he doesn't seem to know when to draw a line, and what that results is Anthony Joshua being caught in between styles. He's not sure how to marry it all together, how to make it so it's one cohesive unit. And instead we see these gaps in his style where it's all or nothing. There's no adaptation mid-fight. There's no personal flair almost. You know, I like to talk about flair when it comes to technique and style. And I feel that we've seen the same thing with his personality. I feel like Anthony Joshua doesn't know, he isn't sure, he's undecided on what kind of person he wants to be in his life. And now, of course, I don't know Anthony Joshua personally, so I can only base this assessment on what we see of Anthony Joshua in the public eye. And what I see of Anthony Joshua in the public eye is just that, someone who doesn't know what they want to be. And rather than finding who they are, they try and blend in to their surroundings, and they alter their personality based on who is present, who they are interacting with. And now I said this I was talking to Hatman, this was a few weeks ago, so it's something that I've thought about for a long time, as I said, not just a few weeks, but for years while I've been watching Anthony Joshua. And I use the term a chameleon. Anthony Joshua strikes me as someone who is a chameleon. They blend in. He is someone who change the way he acts and the way he talks based on who he's around. And now, look, we all do this to some degree. We all wear different hats. You know, you are someone's son, you're someone's daughter, you're someone's partner, you're someone's friend, someone's foe maybe. And so you're going to have different interactions with different people, but a lot of the time your own personality and the essence of yourself will always remain there, and it will always shine through. Whereas Anthony Joshua, it's difficult to really tell what kind of person he is, because when you look at his interactions in the public eye, he's Anthony Joshua MBE, but then he's also Anthony Joshua from the rough, tough Watford estate, even though Watford isn't renowned for having tough estates, trust me. But then he's also, Mr. Establishment, sponsorships from Google and so on. But then he's also turning up to BLM rallies, anti-establishment, this, that, oppression, blah, blah, blah. It's like, who are you? Who are you really? And now, I think that this bleeds into his boxing practice once again, because I think it's fair to say that Anthony Joshua for a while has lacked the intensity, the venom in his boxing practice. And it's almost like it's been his masculine defiance almost has been watered down from all the corporate PC promotion he's done. It's almost like he's become a bit of your average PC 21st century metropolitan male, and lost that edge. But now in this interview, he is trying to come across as if, he's gone back to the bad boy AJ, where he's back on the Watford estate. Yeah, Coogan, meet me at the shops. Meet me at the shops on the estate. And see, I don't want to laugh, but it's almost like a caricature, almost like I've just taken this loss. That was corporate AJ. Corporate AJ is the one who lost. Street life AJ's, he's undefeated. We got to bring him back, and it's almost like a compensation, because when you watch this interview, you see there's a lot of swearing. AJ, he kind of looks at Coogan dead in the eye of this intensity, and he's like effing and blinding and swearing. Not like he's got Tourette's, but he's, this is Anthony Joshua, someone who we don't usually hear use F-bombs and whatnot. But it's like Anthony Joshua is trying to revert back to a character, I guess, he was earlier in his life, maybe as a defense mechanism to say, this version of Anthony Joshua, he didn't lose to Alexander Usyk. And it's almost like when David Haye went into the rematch against Tony Bellew, he came out in his signature Union Jack trunks, whereas for his comeback, he hadn't worn them. And it was almost like in Haye's mind, he was trying to take it back to his prime years when he was a much more formidable fighter at the peak of his powers. And it was in a bid to not reinvent himself, but just reclaim his former effectiveness in a bid to try and secure the victory against Bellew in the rematch. It's almost like AJ's trying to do that, like a bit of a defense mechanism. But how solid is this persona of AJ? Has he truly got his fire back? Is he really the old AJ? Is he just got this screw it attitude and say, you know what, I just don't care anymore. I don't care what people say. I don't care about the criticism. I care about winning by any means necessary. Because that's what he seemed to lack in the Usyk fight, was that by any means necessary attitude. The kind of attitude we see from the likes of Tyson Fury. And so, as I say, is that now AJ's true persona, or is it an act to try and artificially get himself amped up for the rematch? Who knows? That's just my assessment of it. I believe that Anthony Joshua not only is caught between boxing styles in a practical sense, I believe he's caught between personalities, and he needs to find his true self before he reclaims his confidence. Because Tyson Fury, for example, he is immensely confident. He's one of the few fighters who suffers from overconfidence, because that is a very rare disposition to have, especially in the world of fighting, in the world of combat, boxing. But he has so much confidence because he's fully aware of who he is. Believe me, Tyson Fury is a very intelligent man. He might not be academic, but he's that intelligent. He is fully aware of who he is. He's in tune with himself, and his identity and his spirit, if you will. Anthony Joshua isn't, at least in my opinion, from what I've seen of him over the years. You know, he doesn't know whether he wants to be corporate or badman, roadman Anthony Joshua. He doesn't know whether he's a knockout artist or a slick boxer. And so how can you have a true cast iron confidence in yourself when you're not actually aware of who you are? So that's just my opinion, just my musings on this Anthony Joshua interview. Once again, if you haven't checked it out, I think it's worth it. It's very interesting. An hour long, just hearing AJ talk about recent developments, giving you a bit of an insight into his character. Don't know if it's his true character, but maybe it's at least one facet, one compartment of his character. And of course, you guys probably seen him already, but check out the videos of Hatman, Chris Andre. Very definitive videos, great videos, analysing what was said by Joshua. So other than that, let me know what you thought in the comments section below. Do you agree with what I've said? Do you disagree? Do you think I've missed anything? Leave it all down below in the comment section. You can like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you on the next video.